Hi, hi, everybody. Welcome to All Things Metaphysical podcast with Kellie and Gail. Today is July 12th,
Yep,
2023. Because
yep.
we got tired of calling them episodes, so we're just letting you know when we recorded them. So I know we hopped on a couple minutes early, but hopefully people will find us. Um, and if you are watching us live and you have questions, hello to the people who have found us already.
Hmm.
Please put questions in the comments section today. Kelly and I are not sure kind of what to talk about today. Energy has been really weird again. So, and one of the things Kelly and I were talking about before we came on was like ascension flu.
Yep.
And, what is that? And I just feel like everyone right now is starting to level up again.
Yeah.
And so that's a really hard thing. I know for me, it really affects my physical body. So I've been going through it the last couple weeks. And my spirit team just keeps saying, leveling up, leveling up.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had that as well. It's just what I'm hearing from people is either people are sleeping entirely too much
Mhm.
or they're not sleeping at all. They're getting weird headaches that they know don't usually get and don't know what it's about. Strange allergies to things. People just sort of evaporating from their lives, and it's like as if they were never there. And all of those things, I think, are part of ascension flu. I think.
And really weird. Like I've gotten, I was at the eye doctor yesterday because I'm having such weird experiences. But she's like, it could be a ocular migraine. We're not exactly sure. But
Thanks. That's very helpful.
I've never experienced it before. Every doctor I have seen has basically written me off because they don't know what to do with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Story
went.
of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I would get migraines.
Mhm.
And when I was in my early 20s, I would get migraines that were so severe, they would give me an intravenous shot of Percodan, I think is what it was. And, then I would be out. I'd be like floating through the hospital. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it went away. And there was no explanation. Nothing really happened. It just went away. And I asked my spirit team one time, and they said, "Oh, you just grew out of it."
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, you can grow into them and or out of them.
Yep.
So,
So,
I don't get the really bad pain in my head migraines anymore, but now I seem to be getting ocular migraines more often. So
yeah.
it's just really interesting, how things shift and change as our energy shifts and changes. And
Yeah, it's a lot of people complaining about feeling floating.
Mhm.
They can't seem to stay grounded. I have a brand new student, and after the first class, she was like, "What's happening to me? I'm floating." And I'm like, "Oh no." So, extra grounding, I think, is useful for everyone
Mhm.
right now while energies are the way they are. It's just not an easy thing to get through a lot of the time. I know I'm having technical difficulties the last week.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, those of you who are watching us live, if you have questions, please put them in the comments section. We would love to talk about anything that you want us to talk about tonight. And, you know, again, just really interesting things happening. Like, even friendships are changing. Like,
Well,
people
yeah,
you thought would be in your life for like a really long time, one day you just suddenly realize, nope, it's not a good fit. I need to let go.
yeah. And that's happening to a lot of people.
Mhm.
There was, I did a virtual talk at a shelter recently, and that was one of the things that kept coming up over and over and over from different people was, their support system had evaporated. All of these people that were there that said, "Yeah, I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there," all of a sudden they were gone.
Mhm.
One person was talking about family that was all of a sudden gone, nowhere, didn't want anything to do with her. And that's really shocking and upsetting
Mhm.
for many people. But we've talked about it before. I think actually the last show we did about how your soul groups are changing. They're merging. Some people that have always been in your soul group are no longer there. And that's kind of what humanity is going through as a whole. So don't take it personally. You
Mhm.
know, that's the best thing you can do is just not take it personally. Go, okay, well, that's guess they're somewhere else now. Wish them well and let it go because you can't force someone to be in your life. And why would you want to?
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a funny thing happen, and I don't know if this happens to anyone else. So, I've been going through it. So apparently I'm not listening to my guides. So my guides went to talk to one of my friends to give me messages.
Hmm.
They're like, she is not listening to us. We are trying to get her attention. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, obviously you didn't try hard enough.
Yeah. Weird visions a lot of people are having lately too.
Mm,
And that's kind of driving people nuts because new guides are coming in.
mhm.
And sometimes I just bolt the door. I'm like, nope, not listening to any of you right now. Nope, 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 can't make me. And usually then something dramatic will happen to get my attention.
Yeah, and something
Yeah,
dramatic happened a week and a half ago.
yeah,
And I've been trying to do better about paying attention, but it's just slow going, man. And that
yeah.
frustrates me. It's like I know what needs to happen. It's just not happening. Crazy dreams too, yes.
Yes, yes. Crazy visions and meditations.
Hmm.
A lot of people are having some really weird stuff. And it's interesting because younger people are having, usually I get kids that I mentor who see very vibrant colors in dreams. And one of them the other morning said, I was in a Charlie Chaplin film. It was black and white. I hated it. And it's why would a 10-year-old kid be in a have that dream? But yeah, lots of
Because
lots of
that's where the world is right now. We're kind of in black and white. We don't have Technicolor right now.
right. And it's just really upsetting for a lot of people.
Mhm.
There was one dream that I'm still trying to figure out that someone told me about where they were racing a car on some really curvy road, and all of a sudden there was a snake in the passenger seat, and the snake shot forward, broke through the windshield, laid across the road, and made the car wreck. I'm like, no, you would have just run over the snake. That would not happen. But that's what happened in this person's dream. And I thought, whoa, I'm going to have to think on that, what that one means. Because
Wow, isn't that interesting? So the first thing that came to mind with that is that they're literally stopping their Kundalini energy.
that could be, because this
Because
person
snakes
is,
represent
yeah,
Kundalini. So the
yeah.
fact that the snake jumped through the window and forced the car to stop, I
And
wonder, I
she was
wonder
saying it swerved. She hit the snake, and then it went. She said it was like it was a giant curb, and
uh
the tires went sideways and off the cliff. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
that's
so
a cool
it's some
dream.
past life stuff about
Yeah,
her Kundalini energy.
I would say so.
Just a
Lately,
guess.
yeah, it would fit with that person. It would definitely fit with her. But one of the weird ones I've had is going in a spiral. And I was walking a spiral, like outlined with stones. And then all of a sudden it turned into a round cornfield. And I was still going in a spiral through the cornfield. And it was changing, but it was always a spiral. And I looked at that as traveling back through past lives because I know I've had several past lives in different capacities as a farmer. And that was really interesting to me. And there were always different things in the center, you
Well,
know.
it sounds like it was more of a labyrinth than a spiral. So it
Well,
does
that was definitely just a straight spiral to the center, and but it kept changing. I'd go around one side, and then it would change into something. It was like I was seeing different scenes as I walked. It was really interesting. Yeah, past life stuff.
Mhm. That's been coming up a lot. We talked about it, I think it was 2 weeks ago, because I had that really weird experience. So I just feel like right now, I feel like there is no veil.
Right.
And I think that that's what people are sort of adjusting to is there's no separation anymore from the different dimensions.
Yeah, it's the sheer number of people I've had contact me recently saying they were walking through the house and someone reached out and grabbed them.
Mhm,
That's telling you that not only have they been trying to get your attention, but you're not paying attention to them, and now they have to physically touch you.
mhm.
Um, People talking about feeling someone put their hand on their arm or their shoulder, or so, one person got smacked upside the head, and it's like, there's nothing here. What's hitting me? And so they call me, which is really weird too. But what's hitting me in my house? Gee, I don't know. I'm not at your house. Um, but a lot of that stuff is happening. A
Mhm.
lot of people talking about driving, glancing in the rearview mirror and seeing someone in their back seat. Usually it's a departed loved one, like a grandmother, a grandfather.
No, I just have 2 random travelers that travel with me in my
So
new car. Yeah.
it's the way things are right now. Yeah. You just go with it.
Yeah, well, what's the alternative, right?
Right.
Mhm.
What are you going to do? Yell them at them to go away? They probably will. And then you may regret that. I've had people tell me that too. You tell me I can tell them to leave. They're scaring me. And then, a year later, why is nobody reaching out to me? Because you told them to leave. So be really careful and explicit
Mhm.
when you're asking them to come in or leave.
Yeah. So we have quite a few people watching us right now because I can see the numbers. So if anyone has a question, again, please put it in the comment section and we will get back to it. I think it's really interesting because I had on a black shirt earlier today that had a lot of green and pink in it. Um, and Kelly's wearing green, and then I changed into orange. So interesting, all about heart.
Yeah.
And you have blue, so heart, throat, and being who you're meant to be in the world, which is kind of fitting for everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
One of our viewers asked, I'm seeing something just outside of my view, like a shadow.
Yeah, that's common too. That's very common these days. Um,
It's
you're
funny when I was at the eye doctor, they're like, well, if you start to see flashing lights out of the corners of your eyes, you need to come back immediately. And I'm like,
you know,
that was
no,
just, that made me laugh yesterday. I thought that was so funny.
that is funny. Yeah, if you're seeing, there's a difference between seeing something just outside your view that appears to be a shadow and seeing an actual shadow person. And you need to kind of be aware of that, because usually if you see something just outside your periphery, it may appear to be a shadow, but it's probably a loved one or a guide. It can be a guide. It can even be an angel these days.
Mhm.
An actual shadow figure will make you know it's an actual shadow figure. It's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, you would probably be more afraid if it was an actual shadow
Oh
figure.
yeah, they what's so one of my previous paranormal clients told me that they exude fear and hate.
Mhm.
And I never heard anyone describe a shadow person like that
I
before.
have
So
friends who do that.
yeah.
I have
Yeah, you
friends
do.
who exude
Yeah.
fear and hate.
Yeah. But it's kind of totally different. But yeah, people are telling me they're seeing angels, actually hearing the rustling of wings at night. And I think that is fascinating,
Mhm.
but a lot of people I realize don't. If you scare easily, maybe tell them out loud that you scare easily. Take it easy with you. Yeah. Someone is saying they feel or see someone by their shoulder. I'm assuming it's one of my loved ones. Yeah, it is. For you, it is. Yeah.
It's
Uh,
not that the shadow figures are mean, which is the other questions. It's just that they're more negative.
Yeah, they are very shadow people are different than seeing a shadow or what looks like a shadow out the corner of your eye.
Mhm.
Yeah, your left side. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
I don't know what popped into me for that user was great grandmother.
Yeah. I saw an older lady. Yeah. I saw an older woman. Yeah. Yep. And that's happening a lot of maternal energy
Mhm.
coming through the veil because the energies are so heavy. And I think that it's like a signal for maternal energy to come in and help us and support us with navigating through the crazy energies that we're living in.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, I had that past life experience 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and now everything is all about Egypt. So I don't know what's going to happen in Egypt soon, or something else is going to be discovered in Egypt. But something is coming about Egypt down the pike because that is all that's been like on my radar with guides and stuff for the last few days.
Um, what I know about what's being planned for the pyramids in particular, there is a group of people working with some ET beings who are planning on recladding and putting the pyramidium back on the Great Pyramid. And when they do that, if they can do that, the Egyptian consulate is not fond of this idea. But
It's
if
not, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but the theory is, and what we've been told, or what they've been told, and they told me, with the extraterrestrial beings' help, is when it was operational, the cladding was on the pyramids and the pyramidiums were at the top. And it's an amazing energy source. And it was powering not only electricity, but portals around the world.
Uh huh.
And that's why it was taken apart because
Yes.
governments didn't want people doing that.
And
So,
we can't even handle the technology that we have right now. There's no way they're going to let that happen.
no, and they're not, but there is a group that's really trying to push that.
I know
Um,
that when my third eye opened 20 years ago, Egypt and the pyramids was all I saw, and
yeah,
what all that information is and stuff like that. And then I always used to draw all these pictures and I didn't know what they were till I really stopped to look at them. But it's the whole pyramid complex
right.
that I used to draw often in the beginning. And, I think that it's just not quite time yet.
It's not, we're not ready for it. The number of people that are truly ready for this technology can probably be counted on two hands. I mean, truthfully, I know I'm not ready for that kind of full power. Um,
It's funny. I was watching Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skulls the other day. Speaking of all this stuff, and we're not ready for a lot of things. Our human brain has a hard time understanding and comprehending
yeah,
multidimensionality. How about if
yeah.
I say it that way? And then someone asked, who makes up the Galactic Council?
There are multiple now species that make up the Galactic Council. Um, some of the more powerful species are the Pleiadians, the Arcturians. Um,
Syrians.
yeah, everybody wants to include Zetas, but Zetas are really not. The Zetas are actually a hybrid race. Um, Probably shouldn't talk about that on here, but they are. So probably that. But I've been told there are like seven. The Lyrans are now part of the Galactic Council. Um,
What about the Nairubians?
um, Another thing we probably shouldn't be talking about on
Okay.
this, but yeah, there are seven different species who make up the primary Galactic Council. It is a real thing. They may never let us be a part of it. Um, there are several beings that are working to make humanity a part of that. We do have representatives loosely associated with the Galactic Council from different governments. But yeah, we're not ready. we're not ready, nor are we worthy at this point. Someone else asked a previous question: when you have ancestral help, is it mostly maternal? Not necessarily. You can have as many male beings come through as female.
And from the male side too.
Yes. And it depends on what energy you're sending out, what help they believe you need, and who is available to be there for you. Not every being is always available. I saw that. Yeah. Yeah.
We saw you.
But yeah, it depends. It depends. If you have a
There's another
particular,
one that just went huge, just went by.
I missed that one.
Speaking of Galactic Council.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, but if you have a particular ancestor's name that you would like to contact, you can ask for them.
Mm.
Understand that oftentimes they will not be available. It depends on a lot of different energetic frequencies that's going on right now. Even on the other side of the veil, they're having energy fluctuations.
That would make sense since everything's happening simultaneously
Mm-hmm.
in all dimensions, time and space.
Yep. Yep. It's going to get real interesting.
So, would you say that there's a difference between the Galactic Council and the Galactic Federation of the Light?
Not necessarily. There are many beings in common from both of those.
Mm-hmm.
There are some big players in the galactic, in the galaxy. There are many big players, and they really don't want us to be too involved at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We're really not worthy. We are such a war species that there's really very little place for us in any kind of light organization.
It's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, we are a war species. I mean, and throughout multiple galaxies, that's what is known about humanity. Earth is a warrior planet, and that's the way it's looked at. And when you have advanced beings looking down, literally, at humanity, saying, well, these people are all about war and killing and hate, why would they want us to be a part of their organization? Why would they want to hang out with us? They are making great strides. There are a number of galactic beings that have been on the planet for millennia, that have been trying to mentor and trying to upgrade our DNA. And many times, and what I've been told is there have been many times throughout humanity's history where they've thrown up their hands and go, nope, they're not getting it. And they go away for a while and they quit for a while and then they come back and okay, we'll try this again. And different species have picked up the torch. It's like, okay, this one says we're done with these people. I don't know what they're going to do. And then somebody else comes in and says, let us try. So we've kind of been the redheaded stepchild of the galaxy, where nobody really knows what we're going to do, what we're capable of.
We don't even know what we're going to do and are capable of.
Yeah, well, what they have seen, what we have shown is that we can't be trusted and we hate each other and we have no concept of love or light. And that's what they see. You know, that's not true. And they're painting all of humanity in one broad stroke, but that's what they've seen. So how can you argue with that?
Well, I mean, and even if you go back over our history, what do we teach the most in history? You know,
Right.
you're taking history courses, so it's
Right.
always about war.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And somebody asked about other dimensions having issues also. Yes. This is everybody, everything. Yeah. All going through the same stuff.
so we have any other questions from anybody who's watching us right now? Well, that was certainly interesting to talk about. I don't know if we've ever talked about that in that kind of depth before.
Yeah, I have to always be cautious
Mhm,
how much, because I know a lot about that, and there are things I just can't really talk about
mhm,
for a variety of reasons. But I do think people need to know what's going on.
mhm,
I think people need to be open-minded enough to see what's going on and what's happening, and it's always been happening. It's not new.
mhm.
So, yeah.
They're showing me like cave paintings and on rocks of like the bubbles around beings' heads, and they're
Yeah,
like,
the astronauts, yeah. Well, and there are many cave paintings in the Southwest, not far from where I live, of actual saucer craft.
mhm,
And it's not a new concept.
mhm,
If you go back and talk to Native Americans, they'll say, yes, our star brothers, our star sisters, yes, they've always been here. And like it's no big deal. Yeah, of course they're here. What do you mean? What are they? They're here. Of course they're here. Um, it's just that a lot of humanity has been purposely dumbed down about that subject, and it's about to come out. So open your minds. That's my advice. Open your mind. Yeah. Watching. Somebody said watching. They have been watching. There are some actively interacting with humanity.
mhm,
Uh, so yeah, working with different governments around the world. They're certainly not hiding.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to cover tonight, Kelly?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You
It's
know?
one of our shorter podcasts.
Yeah, it's just the energy is so heavy
Mhm.
and it's just exhausting for me, and I know it is for everyone else too.
So, the most important thing that we want to leave people with is that it's really important to take care of your mental, physical, spiritual, and psychological health.
Ground a lot, do a lot of grounding. Yep.
So, oh, there was an orb that went by as you said grounding. Interesting.
Mhm.
So apparently they like just having this space for them because I moved my work stuff back out of my office
Well,
into
there
a,
you go.
there's
We
one.
are interesting. That's
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
there was one that was just floating up like a corkscrew. Um, so apparently they're back because they just didn't like me doing my work stuff in their space. So
Yep.
interesting.
Yep.
All right. So everybody have a great night.
Yep.
Anything comes up between now and 2 weeks from now, feel free to reach out to us. Or if there's something you want us to talk about, feel free to reach out to us. Also, please subscribe, like, share, ring the bell on YouTube of our channel. And we will see you guys all again really soon. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.